Hello my dear learners, I think you've enjoyed our first lesson. We are still driving our fractions, so we are going to look at the next subtopic under fractions, that is what we call equivalent fractions. We are looking at equivalent fractions. So what is an equivalent fraction? So equivalent comes from the word equal, valent, that is after dividing. So the fractions we get as a result of dividing the previous given fraction. So in other words, these are successful fractions obtained after continuous division of the given or of the previous given fraction. For example, if we have our whole like this one, and I divide my whole like this, then I'm having this is a half. Then if this is a half, this is 1 out of 2, then I'm going to get the equivalent fraction for that. So this was my a half, then I'm going to divide it for the second time. So remember it was 1, now there are 2 that are shaded. This is going to become 2. Remember we said this part of a whole, so there are 2 here. Then the whole has been divided into how many now? 1, 2, 3 and 4. Then still I take up, I'm getting equivalent fractions. I still take this one up as it was like this one, then 1 and 2. Then I divide this one again into the third time. So what are we having? We are having 1, 2, 3 that are divided. Then this one is giving us 3 over now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 6. So when you look at this a half, then this 2 out of 4, then 3 6 or 3 out of 60. So these are what we call the equivalent fractions. So in simple terms, it's a matter of multiplying the previously given fraction in order. For example, they can tell us to find the equivalent fractions of 2/3. So meaning that my first equivalent fraction is going to be 2/3. Then I'm going from if I multiply this one by 1, it's going to be 2 out of 3. Then the next equivalent fraction is going to be then times 2, also times 2. What are we getting? We are getting 4 out of 6. Then the next equivalent fraction will be 2 out of 3 times 3 times 3, the third one. It will be now 6, because 2 by 3, that is a 6. Then 3 by 3, it is a 9. If again I want to get more equivalent fractions, then it will be 2 by 3 times now 4 over a 4. So this is going to give us 8 out of 12. Therefore, the equivalent fractions we obtain from 2 out of 3, they are, that is, we have 4 out of 6, then we have 6 out of 9, and again we have 8 out of 12. So those are the equivalent fractions. Then again they can give us maybe 2/5 to get the first 4 equivalent fractions. So the first one is going to be 2 out of 5. Then the second one will be 2 out of 5 times 2 out of 2. So 2 times 2 is giving us a 4. 2 times 2 is giving us a 10. Then the third one is going to be 2 out of 5 by 3 out of 3. So 2 by 3 is a 6. This is a 5. So 5 times 3 is giving us 15. Then lastly, the fourth one is going to be 2 out of 5 times 4 out of 4. This one is giving us 8 out of 20. Therefore, the equivalent fractions are going to be 2 out of 5, then 4 out of 10, then 6 out of 15, and 8 out of 20. Let me hope that you've enjoyed that. So if we are given, let us first divide here. So if now we are given 2 out of a 5. So to get the first one, the second one, and the third one. Actually, this one is the first one, then the second one, third one, and the fourth one. So we are starting with the second equivalent fraction. It will be 2 out of a 5 by 2 by 2. We are getting 4 out of a 10. So here we are having 4 out of a 10. Then our third equivalent fraction is going to be 2 out of 5. Because it's the third one, it is 3 out of a 3, as I explained earlier. So it's going to give us 2 by 3. It is a 6 out of 5 by 3. It is a 15. So it is 6 over 15. Then lastly, the fourth equivalent fraction is going to be 2 out of 5 by 4 over 4. It's now giving us 8 out of 20. So we fill in here, that is 8 out of 20. I hope you've enjoyed that. So you'll try out more numbers in the link below. So let us continue. Then those have been equivalent fractions. So we are going to look at also another thing which is so simple and easy to understand. So we are going to look at the order of fractions. So ordering fractions. So here we are going to put fractions in order. So when we say order, so we have two orders we are going to follow. One, we are having what we call the ascending order. We have the ascending order, and another order is going to be the descending order. So you have to understand the meaning of these words. So let us look at ascending. If we say ascending, so ascending, we are going to move from the smallest to the biggest. So here the order is we are arranging them from the smallest to the biggest. To the biggest. Then the opposite is descending. So with the descending, we are going to be moving from the biggest to smallest. Now let us see how we are going to do it. So for example, let us divide here. So for example, we are given a half, 2/5, and 2/3, and they tell us to arrange our fractions in ascending order. Remember, we said ascending order, we are going to arrange them from the smallest to the biggest. Now, because they are parts of wholes, then we don't know which one is the biggest, which one is the smallest. So what we are going to do, we can use the idea of equivalent fractions, or we can solve our number, or we can arrange them using the lowest common multiple from numeracy. That was our first topic. Then LCM stands for lowest common multiple. If you remember very well, we said a multiple is a product of two factors or of two numbers. So product means to multiply. So when you have two numbers, you multiply them, then the answer you get, it becomes the LCM. Then here we have our three numbers. We need to get the LCM of a 2, LCM of a 5, and LCM of a 3. So 2 times 1, it is a 2. 2 times 2, it gives us a 4. 2 times a 3 is giving us a 6. Then 2 times a 4 is giving us 8. Then 2 times it's giving us 8. 2 times 5 is giving us a 10. Then 2 times 6 is giving us 12. Then here 5 times 1 is going to give us a 5. Then 5 times 2 is giving us a 10. Then 5 times 3 is giving us 15. Then 5 times 4 is giving us a 20. Then here 3 by 1, it's giving us a 3. Then 3 times 2, it is a 6. Then 3 times a 3 is a 9. Then 3 times 4, it's a 12. And 3 times 5, it is 3 times 5, it's a 15. Then 3 times a 6, it's going to give us a 21. Now when you look at this, what we are doing here, we are just looking, we are finding the LCM briefly. So we are looking at we look at all these factors, the multiples we have obtained. If you have a common factor here, then here we have a 10 and a 10, but a 10 is not in a 3. We have 15, then 15 here, but there we don't have a 15. Then it means that we have to keep on moving. Then we are having a 6 here, but in a 5 we don't have, there is no 6, and here. So meaning that 6 is not a common multiple, and neither 10 nor the 15, which means that we are going to keep on doing that one until we get the common multiple. So let us rub this one. I've just been showing you how to get that. Then you keep on doing that, but here we are going to get our LCM very fast. So we need to get the LCM of a 2, a 5, and a 3. So the LCM of this and this and this, it is a 30, because 2 times this one, it is a 10 times a 3. So our LCM, it is a 30. So we come and we start simplifying our fractions. So we are starting with the first fraction, that is a half times the LCM, which is a 30 here. So by 2 here, a 1. Then how many 2's are here in a 30? We are having a 15. Therefore this one is producing a 15. Now if you have 2 out of a 5 by a 30, then by 5, 1 by 5 here is 60. 2 by 60, we are getting a 12. Then we are having another fraction, the last one, which is 2 out of a 3 of our LCM. By 3, 1, 3 here, it's a 10. 2 by this one, it is giving us a 20. Now we are going to look at what each fraction has produced. So the first fraction produced 15, the second one produced 12, the last one produced 20. Remember the question was to arrange them starting from the smallest. So we are going to look at the fraction that has produced the smallest number, then it's going to be the first fraction. So automatically it is 2 out of a 5. So in ascending order, it will be 2 out of a 5, then followed by 15, which was from a half, then lastly 2 out of a 3. Then we can be given another one as in a quarter, then 2/3, and a 50. So we need to know which one is going to produce the smallest and which one is going to produce the lowest. The biggest. So the idea we are using our LCM. So the LCM of 4 and 3 and a 5. So we have a 12 by a 5, which is going to be a 60. So we are going to use the LCM of 4, 3, and 5. It's going to be a 60. So we had 4, 3, and 5. So we had the a quarter, then we had 2/3 and a 50th. So our LCM, we obtained it as the 60. Then it is a quarter of a 60. So what are we getting by 4? 1. How many 4's are in 6? How many 4's are in 6? There is 1 4, remainder a 2. This 2 makes this one to become a 20. How many 4's are in 20? There are 5. So 1 by 15, we get 15. The next fraction is 2/3 of LCM 60 by 3 1. How many 3's are in 60? There are 2. How many 3's are in 0? We don't have. So 2 times 2, 4, add on a 0. Then we just come here. Lastly, a 50th of 60 by 5 here, 1. How many 5's are in 6? 1, remainder 1 makes this one a 10. How many 5's are in 10? There are 2. So we have 12. So we have 12 as the lowest, then 40, then 60. So it means that the first fraction here, it is a fifth, then followed by because this is 12, then followed by 2/3, and lastly we are having the 15. Is it? No, sorry, let us rub this one. The smallest is 12, then followed by 15, which is a quarter, and the biggest is a 40, which is 2/3, like that. So try out those numbers in the link below.